Ferrari has launched the Formula 1 car it hopes will help it recover from its Nightmare 2020 campaign and return the Italian squad to competitiveness this year. The Scuderia became the final F1 team to present its 2021 challenger, the SF21, to the world on Wednesday, just 2 days before the start of pre-season testing in Bahrain. After enduring its worst F1 season in 40 years and slumping to 6th place in the Constructors' Championship, scoring just 3 podium finishes, Ferrari is aiming to bounce back with its updated 2021 car. In its bid to move further up the grid this year, Ferrari has introduced an upgraded power unit which it believes has successfully recovered a significant amount of the straight-line speed deficit that hampered its performance across 2020. While significant mechanical elements are being carried over from last season to this one amid a freeze on chassis development in a bid to save costs, teams are permitted to carry out some aerodynamic work, opening the door for Ferrari to address further weaknesses of its draggy SF1000. Following its challenging 2020 season, the Maranello outfit has also reorganised its chassis department, which comes after the creation of a new performance development department that was devised back in July. Ferrari enters the upcoming campaign with a revised driver lineup consisting of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, who was signed from McLaren to replace departing 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. Aston Martin has presented its 2021 Formula 1 car ahead of its return to the championship this year. The AMR21 is Aston Martin's first F1 car in 6 decades and has been painted in its iconic British racing green colours. It will be driven by new signing Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll during the 2021 season. Aston Martin has retained key partner BWT despite its replacement as title sponsor, with the Austrian water company's branding and logos featuring to a lesser extent on the team's new car. The complete renaming of its F1 car comes after the rebranding of Racing Point, with the new chassis naming structure a departure from Aston Martin's previous DBR4 and DBR5. Aston Martin's return to F1 in a works capacity follows Canadian businessman Lawrence Stroll's takeover of the British sports car manufacturer last year as part of a bid to rejuvenate the firm. It has carried over the RP20 chassis, which helped the team clinch 4th place in the Constructors' Championship in 2020 with 4 podium finishes, including Racing Point's maiden victory at the Sakhir Grand Prix. The Silverstone-based outfit is aiming for more podiums and wins in 2021 with its revised driver lineup, having made the high-profile signing of 4-time world champion Vettel following his Ferrari departure to replace Sergio Perez, who has joined Red Bull alongside Max Verstappen. Having endured a difficult final few years at Ferrari, Vettel is seeking a return to form at his new team, where he will partner Stroll, who heads into the new campaign off the back of his most successful season in F1 to date. The 22-year-old Canadian scored his first pole position and a further 2 podiums on his way to taking 11th place in the championship last year. Mercedes has launched its 2021 Formula 1 car, the W12, ahead of the new season. The reigning world champions will hope the Mercedes-AMG F1 W12 E-Performance propels them to further history, with the German manufacturer gunning for an 8th consecutive World Championship double this year. Mercedes' latest car will have a lot to live up to after its predecessor, the W11, won 13 of the 17 races last year as the team swept to both titles for a record-breaking 7th time. The W12 will run the same chassis as last season, in line with the significant carryover of mechanical parts between 2020 and 2021, but it does feature a host of aerodynamic upgrades that the outfit has worked on amid the introduction of new rules aimed at slowing cars down for this year. Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas will once again drive the car to beat in F1, with Mercedes one of just 3 teams to field an unchanged lineup for the upcoming 2021 season. Hamilton's presence on the 2021 F1 grid was only officially confirmed last month when the Briton finally put pen to paper on a new 1-year agreement following a long-running saga as he bids to win an 8th World Championship. The 36-year-old Briton won 11 of the 16 races he contested last season on his way to matching Michael Schumacher's tally of 7 world titles, while he also eclipsed the German's previous all-time record for most Grand Prix victories. Red Bull's upgraded RB16B Formula 1 Challenger has broken cover as the team showed off its latest car for the upcoming 2021 season on Tuesday morning. Following the respective launches of McLaren, sister squad Alfa Tauri and Alfa Romeo, Red Bull was the fourth team to reveal its car for the 2021 campaign. The RB16B will build upon the foundations of its predecessor, which claimed 2 victories throughout 2020 at the hands of Max Verstappen. Red Bull hopes its latest challenger will iron out the problems it encountered with its tricky 2020 car and help the Milton Keynes squad further close the gap to the dominant Mercedes outfit this year, having finished a massive 254 points adrift last season. A revamped driver lineup of Verstappen and new signing Sergio Perez, who has been drafted in to replace Alex Albon for 2021, will lead Red Bull's charge as it bids to take the fight to Mercedes and achieve its first Drivers' and Constructors' Championships since 2013. It will be powered by an all-new Honda power unit as the Japanese manufacturer goes all out to try and win the World Championship with Red Bull in its final year with the team before it bows out of F1. Red Bull has agreed a deal with Honda to take over the running of its IP and engines from 2022 onwards. It will continue to use Honda's power units through to the end of 2024 before the next generation of F1 engines is introduced in 2025. Haas has revealed the first images of its 2021 Formula 1 car, the VF21, ahead of the new season. The American squad will be hopeful the VF21 can muster more than the 3 points its predecessor scored in 2020, as the team finished 9th in the Constructors' Championship, beating only Williams. The VF21 will once again be powered by Ferrari, with Haas hoping for a significant upturn in performance on the power unit side, given the Scuderia's lack of engine power in 2020. Haas is the only team to have a completely new driver lineup, having dropped experienced duo Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen for 2021. McLaren has become the first Formula 1 team to reveal its 2021 car, having pulled the covers off its new MCL 35M at its Woking factory. The MCL 35M features the team's iconic papaya orange and blue livery, and is the first McLaren F1 car to be fitted with a Mercedes engine in 7 years, after the British outfit switched from Renault to revive the partnership which previously ran between 1995 and 2014 over the winter. Despite teams being forced to carry over their chassis from last season to this one, McLaren's MCL 35M is F1's most different car of 2021. with the team having to design a new package in order to accommodate the Mercedes-AMG M12 e-Performance power unit. McLaren technical director James Key said the team has had to upgrade a huge amount on its new car amid what he described as significant new aerodynamic regulations coming into play for this year. After claiming third place in the F1 Constructors' Championship and recording 2 podium finishes in 2020, McLaren is aiming to continue to build on its recent upward momentum and maintain its position at the front of the midfield this season. McLaren's latest challenger was presented in a digital launch by its revised driver lineup consisting of Lando Norris and new signing Daniel Ricciardo. Alfa Romeo has launched its 2021 Formula 1 car at an event in Poland ahead of the upcoming season. The new Alfa Romeo, which is called the C41 despite last year's car being named the C39, was presented to the world on Monday morning in the Polish capital of Warsaw, which is a key base for title sponsor Orlen. Alfa Romeo was the first team out of the blocks to formally announce their launch plans last month, and is the third team to have revealed their latest challenger for 2021. Following McLaren and Alfa Tauri's launches last week. The C41, which is an evolution of last year's car due to the carryover of chassis between last season and this one, will be tasked with getting Alfa Romeo close to the front of the grid after a difficult 2020 campaign. The Swiss squad could only muster a total of 8 points across the 17-round season on its way to finishing a distant 8th place in the Constructors' Championship for the second year running. Alfa Romeo is set to receive a welcome boost in the form of an all-new power unit from Ferrari, which the team hopes will help overcome its straight-line speed deficiency from last year. Drivers Kimi Räikkönen and Antonio Giovinazzi will be aiming to compete with the midfield teams further ahead this year and be in the mix for more regular points, having been retained by Alfa Romeo for a third successive season. They will once again be supported by test and reserve driver Robert Kubica, who continues in his role for the upcoming 2021 campaign, which begins on the 28th of March in Bahrain. AlphaTauri has become the second Formula 1 team to unveil its new car ahead of the 2021 season, having presented its AT02 on Friday morning. The Faenza-based squad took the covers off its Honda-powered AT02 Challenger in a digital launch event ahead of the upcoming campaign, with the team aiming to improve upon its midfield position. After a successful 2020 season in which it sealed 7th place in the Constructors' Championship and Pierre Gasly claimed a surprise victory at the Italian Grand Prix, AlphaTauri is confident about its prospects for the year ahead. Williams has become the penultimate Formula 1 team to unveil its 2021 car ahead of the new season. Williams launched its FW43B with the use of augmented reality, allowing fans to view this year's car in all its glory from their own living rooms via a phone app. The FW43B is the first car launched under the Dorilton capital management structure after taking over from the Williams family midway through last season. Fans of one of F1's most iconic teams will be hoping Williams continues the upwards trajectory it showed in 2020 into this season. While it didn't score a point for the first time in its history, The Williams in the hands of George Russell proved to be a competitive package, as the Mercedes Junior was a regular Q2 participant. 2021 will mark Russell's third season at the Grove squad, as he teams up with Canadian Nicholas Latifi once again. Drivers Russell and Latifi have already had the opportunity to shake down their new car at Silverstone on February the 17th. They will get a chance to have an extended run in the FW43B next week as pre-season testing gets underway in Bahrain. Alpine has presented its new Formula 1 car, the A521, to the world in a virtual launch event on Tuesday. The French manufacturer enters 2021 with a fresh look and name following its rebrand from Renault to Alpine, as it looks to move further up the midfield order this season. Alpine's first F1 car of the team's new era will get its maiden on-track run-out during pre-season testing in Bahrain between the 12th and the 14th of March, before the season-opening Bahrain Grand Prix takes place on the 28th. Following reigning world champions Mercedes' unveiling of its W12 earlier on Tuesday morning, Alpine is now the sixth F1 team to have launched its latest car. Alpine will field a revised driver lineup featuring two-time world champion Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon, who scored his first F1 podium for Renault at last year's Sakhir Grand Prix.